my dear students, I welcome you all, and today topic of discussion is Wilms tumor. So Wilms tumor is actually a dangerous condition. It is a malignant tumor. So there is malignant cells in this tumor, and it is most commonly occurs in children, or we can say them infants. So infants got this malignant tumor, and these infants are of age from 2 years to 4. So 2 to 4 years. So the prognosis is good if the child is very small of 1 or 2 years and that comes to your clinic, then prognosis is better and good. But in case of when this tumor will rapidly grow and infiltrate the surrounding organs, then the condition will become critical and prognosis is bad. So this malignant tumor occurs mostly in infants, and this tumor is composed of epithelial elements and mesothelial elements. So this malignant tumor, this Wilms tumor, is composed of epithelial and mesothelial elements. So it contains cartilage, bone, and also muscles. So that's why it is also called nephroblastoma. So this is the another name, nephroblastoma, because it is composed of cartilage, because it can contain cartilage also, bone and muscle also. So it is a premature embryonic tissue. So this malignant tumor is actually a premature embryonic tissue. It is a malignant tumor composed of epithelial and mesothelial elements. Now in microscopic findings, we will see during the microscopic examination, we will see there is spindle cells, there is smooth striated cell, then there are cartilage elements and muscle elements. So in microscopic finding, there will be cartilage elements and smooth striated cells and spindle cells. Then this Wilms tumor is a malignant tumor, and it can be bilateral also, but commonly it is seen unilaterally. Then it is greyish white in color, or could be pinkish white. So it is greyish white in color or could be pinkish white, and it arises from the pole. It arises from the pole of kidney. So this is the kidney. It can arise from the upper pole or the lower pole, and it will then distort the reniform shape of kidney. So this tumor will distort the reniform shape of kidney, because with the time this tumor will grow, and that growth will distort the shape of kidney. Then the clinical features: patient will come with a distension of abdomen, because the tumor will grow, so that will cause enlarged kidney. So what will happen, as this malignant tumor will grow and infiltrate the surrounding, and this growing tumor will cause enlargement of the kidney also, and that because of the enlargement of kidney there will be distension in abdomen. So patient will come with a distended abdomen and there will be hematuria. So hematuria is the late feature. It is the late feature because of the rupture of tumor. So if the tumor gets rupture of tumor will cause hematuria. Beside this, when you will examine the patient, when you will touch and examine the patient at that area, so you will feel a mass, and that mass will be nodular. So if any child comes to your clinic with a distension of abdomen and there are no other features present and there is nodular mass during the examination, you can think of Wilms tumor, and hematuria is the late clinical feature because of the rupture of tumor. Now when the tumor will grow, there will be necrosis. So necrosis will result in secretion of pyrogens. So pyrogens will get secreted, and this pyrogens will result in fever. So fever is when the tumor will get necrosed. So that fever is because of the secretion of pyrogen. Along with there is anemia, low HB. Why low HB? Because distension of abdomen, there will be difficulty, and there will be because patient will eat less food, and that will result in, also because of the distension of abdomen and because of the distension of calyx in the kidney. So because of that, that will result in malnutrition also, deficiency, nutritional deficiencies also. So that will result in low hemoglobin, anemia, and this can be bilateral, but bilateral is very rare. So the Wilms tumor can occur in both kidney. This is very rare. So most commonly it affects the one kidney. It occurs unilaterally. Now the investigations. Because it is a tumor, it is a tumor composed of the epithelial and mesothelial elements, composed of bone, cartilage and muscle. So it contains all. So this, in investigations we will recommend patient for CT scan, MRI. So this will, and sonography. So this will identify the mass of the abdomen, and beside this intravenous pyelogram, so that will detect if any abnormality is present in the calyx or distortion of the calyx of the kidney. So it will detect if the calyx are distorted. Also it will assess any malfunction of the kidney. So intravenous pyelogram. Then beside this, we will recommend patient for FNSC because it is a malignant tumor. So FNSC is always done where there are chances of malignancy and infiltration of the organs and tissue with malignant cells. So we will recommend for this investigations. Now in treatment, as this tumor will affect the surrounding structures also. So if there is not infiltration of the surrounding structures, yes, before the treatment I would like to mention the spread. So the spread can occur direct. So it can, the malignant infiltration can occur directly within the capsule of the kidney, within the capsule, through the direct spread or through the hematogenous. So hematogenous spread is by the blood. So the infiltration of the cells will occur in the liver, lungs and bone, and slowly the organs by the blood. Then lymphatic spread will occur by the lymph nodes. So hilar nodes and supraclavicular nodes and mediastinal nodes will get affected. And in this hematogenous spread, slowly, gradually the infiltration will occur, and that this tumor will can extend to the inferior vena cava also. Inferior vena cava and renal vein. So this can occur by the blood, that is hematogenic spread, and lymphatic spread will occur through the lymph nodes, that is Hiller nodes, mediastinal nodes, and beside this mediastinal nodes, supraclavicular nodes. Then in treatment, if the spread has not occurred and there is not filtration of the adjacent structures or organs, so the cancer has not invaded the organs, adjacent organs and structures, then we will do what? We will go for radical nephrectomy, followed by chemotherapy. So this is the surgical procedure when the adjacent structures are not involved and the cancer, this malignant tumor is confined within the renal capsule. It has not extended outside the renal capsule. Then we will go for the radical nephrectomy followed by chemotherapy. Beside this, if there is infection, there is fever, then we have to treat the fever by giving antipyretics, and if there is pain, distension of abdomen, then we have to give proper medications. We will also go for the urine culture to find out which infection is present, then we will prescribe the antibiotics on that basis. And we have to treat the anemia, so low hemoglobin. So we have to treat the low hemoglobin. So we will give blood transfusion if needed, and we have to correct the nutritional deficiencies also. So we will give any elements which are lacking, and then we will give and will treat accordingly.